Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 California Demand Flex Summit. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you. My name is Qing. I'm an advisor to Vice Chair Gunda at the California Energy Commission. A little bit about myself. I've worked in the energy sector for about 2 decades, 10 years with CEC, so it has been a great journey with me. Throughout my career, I worked across a wide range of areas, including energy-related R&D, distributed energy, resource integration, reliability analysis, and planning. So my work sits at the intersection of technology, policy, and innovation. I also want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge many stakeholders, including public and investor-owned utilities, CCAs, technology developers, aggregators, community-based organizations, researchers, and advocates whose contributions are driving California's demand flex effort. Because demand flex is such complex topic, and we all have different backgrounds and bringing different perspectives, this presentation is to provide you a shared foundation for the conversation we'll be having today. We will touch on why demand flex is central to California's clean energy transition and how it intersects with the broader grid investment and planning and reliability needs. We will walk through a demand flex framework to help ground the discussion so that we can communicate more efficiently and effectively. I will also go over California's demand response evolution to provide some historical content. At the end of this presentation, I will give you a list of questions to spark the discussion for the rest of the day. California is targeting economy-wide decarbonization by 2045. This means widespread electrification. We have set goals to achieve 5 million zero-emission vehicles by 2030 and 100% of all in-state sales of zero-emission passenger cars and trucks by 2035. We are also deploying 6 million electric heat pumps by 2030. As you can see, electrification is at the heart of our decarbonization strategies. As we are making progress on electrification, California's electricity demand is expected to grow significantly. The recent CEC's integrated policy report shows the summer peak demand in CAISO is expected to grow 21 gigawatt by 2040, on top of the 46 gigawatt we already have today. This growth is being driven by electrification and including 6,500 megawatt for buildings, 8,300 megawatt for transportation, 3,400 megawatt for rapid expansion of data centers to support AI and cloud computing. Meeting this growing demand will require major investment. In fact, the Public Advocate Office estimated that $26 billion in distribution grid upgrades will be needed by 2035 for the 3 major investor-owned utilities. This is where demand flex can help by shifting when and how electricity is used to reduce the stress on the grid and defer costly investment. The CPUC's effort, particularly in demand flex and high DER proceedings, under the leadership of President Reynolds and Commissioner Hawk, are driving changes in how we plan, operate, and value the distribution system. By tackling these complex issues like distribution planning process improvement and data access issue, it will help unlock the full potential of the DERs. On the book grade side, back in 2016, CAISO released a fact sheet to illustrating the potential operational challenges due to high penetration of renewables, known as the dark curve. It predicts a steep 3-hour net load ramp of up to 13 gigawatt by 2020, as shown in the left figure. Fast forward to 2023, those projections didn't just come true. They are also surpassed, as shown in the right figure. CAISO has set a record of nearly 17 gigawatt net load ramp in just over 3 hours. This shift has underscored the importance of flexible resource. Fast ramping generation, battery storage, demand response are critical to balance the system in real time. Thanks to CAISO's leadership, we've been able to manage the growing operational complexity on our grid. And as the ramp becomes steeper, the value of flexible resource continue to rise. In September 2022, California faced an unprecedented heat wave, driving electricity demand to a record of 52 gigawatt. Demand response helped the state avoid rolling blackouts during this extreme event. The day before the event, the state issued a flex alert asking voluntarily reduce energy use during peak hours. In this chart, the dotted line is the hourly forecast, the blue solid line is the demand, and the purple line is the net load, which is the demand minus the renewables. I want to draw your attention to the red line. The demand, as we can see, later in the day, the hour 16, when people start to return home from work, CAISO's demand response program were activated, offering incentives to quickly reduce demand. As grid conditions become even tighter at hour 18, as solar start to drop off, an Amber Alert was sent statewide, requesting immediate action from all Californians. And the people respond. Because of this layered approach, thousands of megawatts of demand were shaved off. And this is a powerful demonstration of demand response helping grid operation during the emergencies. As the extreme weather events become more frequent, and it is more important than ever to have demand response program to help during the emergencies. And programs like Emergency Load Reduction Program and Demand Side Grid Support Program are designed to provide this kind of relief when our grid is under the most stress. The electricity system is all about balance, demand, and supply. And traditionally, we focused on adjusting supply to meet the variable demand. But today, it is important to focus on the other piece of the puzzle, demand. When technology like smart EV charging, battery storage, smart appliance, we now have the tools to use electricity when it's clean and cheap, and shift the usage when the grid is under stress. It is a time to plan demand flex as part of our planning process. We need to use the same rigor as we do for generations. This means integrated it into our planning model, reliability assessment, and real-time operation, and the market. The grid of the future isn't just powered by clean energy. It can be balanced by smart and responsive demand. Demand flex is a multi-dimensional resource. It delivers multiple values. It includes capacity, energy, renewable integration. For example, I'm a strong believer in the value of midday workplace charging, not just as a convenience, but as a meaningful contributor to grid flexibility. First, workplace charging shift load away from the evening peak, easing capacity constraints in peak hours. And second, it uses low-cost midday electricity when solar is abundant and help reduce energy cost. And third, it could use surplus solar generation, which might otherwise be curtailed, making better use of clean energy while already producing. While plugging at work may look like a small act, it is a powerful example on how our everyday choice can support both grid needs and policy goals. This table summarizes 4 different forms of demand flex: shape, shift, shed, shimmy. And these terms reflect how flexible demand resource can operate. Some can reshape daily load through pricing and automation. Others can shift demand away from peak period, and some are activated only in emergency, while others can provide fast grid support. These forms are not silos. The same technology can provide multiple roles depending on how they're being used. For example, a home battery can shape load by charging when the solar is abundant and the price is low, and discharging in the evenings. The same battery can be aggregated with others that can shift load as a part of the resource adequacy and the emergency reserves. When one resource delivers multiple forms of demand flex, it requires more sophisticated planning, coordination, and evaluation framework to unlock its full potential. As you can see, demand flex is a broad and involving topic. It spans different technology, it needs infrastructure and standard, it has different programs and rate design, and market participation. To keep our conversation grounded today, we are using this framework from the SB 8046 load shift report as a common reference point. You will see this slide a few times throughout the day. With this framework, we are able to group demand flex resource into 3 main categories. The first is the load modifying resource, and this includes time of use rate and dynamic pricing, automation. These tools can reshape demand on a regular basis. They play a foundational role and have a significant long-term impact on system planning and customer behavior. Smarter device can unlock the full potential of load modifying resource by automating how and when load is shaped in response to grid signals. Under Commissioner McAllister's leadership, the CEC is developing flexible demand appliance standards to make smarter devices like heat pumps and EV chargers grid-ready by design. The second category is resource planning and procurement resource, and this includes market integrated demand response. And that is a part of the resource adequacy. And the third group is emergency resource, such as demand-side grid support program, which is designed to respond in emergency conditions, provide additional headroom and incremental capacities when our grid is under the most stress. The last 2 categories are demand response. You may think load modifying resource like the cruise control of your car. They are programmed in advance to manage the speed. It can run smoothly and automatically. The demand response is like the brake pedal. It is something you can rely on when the condition suddenly change, like needing to stop at the traffic. Our goal is to unlock 7 gigawatts of flexible load by 2030. As of today, we're about halfway there. The demand response contributes to 4,000 megawatt toward our 7,000 megawatt goal. This slide shows how demand response has evolved in California since 2004, how our policy and market design have shaped its trajectory. In 2004, demand response was placed at the top of state's loading order. By 2014, demand response capacity has grown to roughly 6% of our peak demand. In 2014, bifurcation happened, which has created two different categories of demand response. Market integrated demand response, which must follow Kaiser's rule for telemetry, bidding, and baseline. And the other one is non-market demand response, which can still reduce demand and load, but it is not counted toward resource adequacy planning reserve. The bifurcation is intended to promote transparency, accountability, and performance-based participation. The transition also introduced other new technical and operational requirements. And some of those have proven challenging, especially for third-party providers. Because of the frequent extreme weather event in recent years, ERP and demand-side grid support programs were created as out of market and emergency demand response. Despite all these challenges, the total demand response capacity has been largely flat over the years. The total capacity fluctuates in between 2,000 and 3,000 megawatt. Today, we will learn more about the updates and lessons from these programs, how we can continue to improve the performance. As I wrap up this opening presentation, I want to leave you with some questions to contemplate for the rest of the day. As we are searching for the answers to these questions, our goal is to make a demand flex a viable product as part of the grid, support the clean energy transition, and provide clean, reliable, affordable service to all the customers. I want to thank all of you for the work you are doing, for being part of this important conversation. We hope today's summit will spark new ideas, new connection, and new commitments, because meeting our 2030 target will take all of us working together. With that, I'm going to hand the mic back to Vice Chair and for the fireside chat.